Jack. All right. You got this stuff?
Yeah. All cleaned and oiled.
Oh, yeah. Beautiful. Beautiful. Let's get it on.
Who are these guys?
It's my theme music. Every good hero should have some.
Hot damn, it's time to get down to the jam. It's time to get down, it's time to get down, it's time to get down to the jam. I said it's time to get down to the knowledge, gonna get on down with the know. On the morning coffee show, on morning coffee with Keith, here on Pop Culture Minefield.
Excuse me, can I get a cup of coffee? Black?
Can't you see we talking? White?
Hello and good morning, everyone. Wow. I gotta say, man, as I get older, my body starts to find different ways of letting me know that certain things I just can't do anymore.
Well, I don't think it's you alone.
Oh no, I know for a fact it's definitely not me alone, but there are just some days that it's just like it's pretty apparent my body's not happy with me, and all I can say is not too much I can do about that. You know, not all of us can be like Tom Cruise and be able to run and jump and do all kinds of exciting stuff. And as we glide through our 60s. Ooh, wow. I hope everybody's having a good day today. I hope that in the coming weeks, I hope everybody can focus in on what's important. And by important, I'm meaning Thanksgiving. And let me just say again, Dallas Cowboys, really? Really? Wolverine 66. Wow. And again, like a lot of people, you are very, very early with your birthday greetings, but I'll take it. This is early, meaning it's not my birthday today, but I don't think I'll have an opportunity to do another show like this before that happens. So, but a day over 35, I'll take it. I'll take it. At my age, I'll definitely take it. And D. Bud Martin, thank you. You know, I gotta say, I think it says something when you're able to look out over it and everything and see how fandom has grown and progressed and all the money that's been spent as people, you know, enjoy themselves, going to conventions, going to the movies, watching their favorite shows. And I think it really does say something when any of these properties begin to lose fans. And this is how I'm going to start this free-for-all, since I haven't been asked any questions, because that's part of what we're doing today, You can. Everybody in the chat can ask a question. I'll answer if I can, if I have the answers. But at least let me start out with this. I started all that off to go into this. There is a news story out from actor Hugo Weaving, and he has explained his position. It's a money issue, basically. As to the reason why he did not come back. And he thinks he's been done dirty by Marvel, who, because of how everything initially was agreed to, because turns out Hugo Weaving was actually supposed to be in multiple movies playing the Red Skull. And of course, that did not work out. And Mr. Weaving was given certain assurances, some of them financial. And it just seemed like Marvel kind of decided to change their minds and then tried to get him to come back, but only in a cameo appearance, a small appearance, and didn't want to pay him what he
For the king.
Yeah.
They didn't want to play the cameo.
Well, no. They wanted to pay him cameo. But here's the thing. Hugo Weaving is a major actor. Okay? His understanding was that he was going to do these movies, that he was going to appear as the Red Skull in said films. When Marvel kind of left him hanging for a few years, when they reached back out, Hugo Weaving went back into it thinking, hey, man, we're going to get this started again. Except they come back at him with, we only need you for this cameo. And he was like, look, I am a working actor. I do a lot of really good things. I've been in a lot of really good films, and I can't be spending my time waiting by the phone for you guys. So why don't, we just do this thing and you pay me what we had originally agreed to for my appearances. I don't think he really was thinking that he would be doing cameos and that would require a different pay. In some ways, this sounds a lot like what the previous Warner Brothers administration tried to do and get away with Henry Cavill. But hell, read by nature. Mrs. A, thank you. Thank you very much. I got to say, the fact that he's now talking about this, Hugo Weaving, doesn't really look good with Marvel attempting to change course.
Well, to be honest,
yes,
he may have caused some of that, because as long as Captain America went out of theaters, he said in some interviews that he only did it out of curiosity, because he wanted to know how was it being in a comic movie.
Yeah.
And he said that he was done with it because it was silly.
That's what he said to the media. But I mean, as my other
that wasn't near the movies of the cameos. That was just at the presentation of First Avenger.
Mm-hmm.
So he comes out and says those things. He couldn't really expect to be called again. for a more serious role.
Oh, I get it. And I totally understand that. I totally do. You know,
I'm not denying the shenanigans that Disney is very famous for,
yeah.
but dude, he may have contributed to create the conditions to their misconduct.
Yes, I agree. You know, Read by Nature says Weaving was his fan cast for Kane, for Legacy of Kane for years. Hugo Weaving is one of those actors that I really do think he is able to basically do whatever he wants. The guy can be a chameleon. And in my opinion, had Marvel had all its ducks in a row, yeah, Read by Nature, Weaving stepped away from Megatron after the first movie too. Yep. I
don't think it was the first one. I think it was the second when he finally said, "No, to the hell with this."
Yeah.
Because, and I understand. In that case, it wasn't the silliness of the character or the movie, but what he considered to be unprofessionalism from the director. Because he said, "I went to read my lines, and there was no director. I was all alone with the technicians in the booth. So if the director is not here to take care of his movie, what do I care?"
Mm-hmm. Yep. He's just a different kind of actor. One who I still like him very much. And
oh yes, of course. And after B from Vendetta, I mean, all the emotionality that he was able to convey without showing his face.
Yeah. Well, that's the reason why. Now, this is going to be kind of surprising, but that's the reason why way back when, I actually thought that Hugo Weaving would have made a much better Doctor Doom. If Marvel had its act together way back when, and if things were truly fair, Hugo Weaving would have made a fantastic Doctor Doom. And I just think that that's a missed opportunity. But then again, you know, it's not the first time. It definitely won't be the last time with them. I just think that as of right now, Kevin Feige is scrambling to try to find something that really works. And my thought on it is hey!
Hello, Kylo.
Hey to you, Kyla. And Read by Nature says Weaving came on late to V for Vendetta. Some of that performance is James Purefoy, I believe. You're right. Let's see. He's asking how are we all, and I think I'm good. I can't speak for everybody else, but I think I'm good. Getting older, you know.
That's good.
But
that means you're still alive.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. But look, all I can say at this point is that based on what I'm hearing, you know, I know that Kevin Feige's trying. He's trying to turn things around. Although it seems like he's taken his sweet time to do that. I think I think there is an opportunity to basically just make all of the necessary changes and try to move the Marvel Cinematic Universe forward. I don't believe you have to go with X number of movies to get there. I think you can just make it happen. I think if they really wanted to, they could just end this all with 3 movies and call it good. And a lot of these characters you really don't need anymore. There may have been plans originally for them, but they have no plan. And they need to recast. There needs to be a lot of recasting at this point. I think that I know that there's some people out there that really enjoyed the movie Shang-Chi. I'm not one of them. Didn't hate the movie, but I didn't think it was worth the amount of time they put into it. And it definitely was not a successful adaptation to the big screen. That movie was pretty far away from being what Shang-Chi was in the comics. Now, I totally understand why they didn't do an exact interpretation. Totally get that. But I'm not talking about the look of the character. I'm talking about the way they decided to just go about and monkey with the entire storyline of the character. And Pop Culture Minefield, yes. Hey, chat, remember, is a free-for-all. So bring up your questions for me, for Keith. I'm just saying that realistically, Shang-Chi is kind of like Marvel's he is, for all intents and purposes, he is pretty much the man with no name, in a sense, of the Marvel Universe. He is someone who is on a mission. And there are times when that mission sort of crosses with a lot of other heroes want to do. But he's a man on a mission. And they completely subverted all of that just so they could get rid of his father and put his sister, spoilers, as the head of the organization, which means now he's got to basically hunt her down. He's got to dismantle all of that. I mean, there have been so many changes to that story. It would have been better off just to go ahead and do what they did in the comics, but just not dress him the way that he was in the comics. That's all I'm saying. Let's see. Wolverine 66 says the action in Shang-Chi was about its only highlight, and even that was lackluster compared to other martial arts flicks. Yes, I concur. You had access to the 2 guys who made John Wick. And the only thing you ended up using those guys for was the airport fight in Civil War. Knowing that you had Shang-Chi. It was on the drawing board. I would have spent whatever amount of money necessary to get those guys to help me with the fights in Shang-Chi. I mean, call me crazy here, but you're making a movie that's definitely going to have martial arts in it. Wouldn't you rather hire 2 of the best guys out there to help choreograph and also plan out and work with whoever you have as your director to help choose the best angles and shots for the fight? That's all. Let's see, Kyla. Oh, wait a minute. Hello, Penny. The lovely Penny. Let's see. Oh, wow. Then You rest well, Kyla. It's good that you came by and said hello. I really appreciate that.
No, Reed.
Yeah,
be
that's the
honest,
thing.
no.
They weren't that memorable. Look. Here's the other thing. I don't
Well,
think I'm the only one. Oh, go ahead, Martin.
I have flashes of a fight in some scaffolds, and that's pretty much it.
I remember a majority of all the fights.
Good for
From
you, I
no.
guess.
A majority of all the fights in all of the John Wick films.
Oh, you
It's
got
Peter
me.
Rickman fan side. Hello, hello. So, yeah, it's again the John Wick films. I mean, the first John Wick film, way better film than Shang-Chi. Second John Wick film, way better film than Shang-Chi. Third John Wick film, still a better movie than Shang-Chi. The fourth one, which again, some people was not as good as the first three, but guess what? Still a better film than Shang-Chi. All told, they probably spent almost the same amount of money on all four of those movies as they did with Shang-Chi. Almost. That's embarrassing. More than anything else.
But they gave us Simu Liu.
Yeah. Yeah. Canada can now take it back. No. No. I have nothing against Sam Liu. Let's see. Wolverine 626 says The Doorman with Ruby Rose is a better movie than Shang-Chi. Wow. Read by Nature says, I remember Marvel's Katie. Katie. Okay. Read by Nature also says, John Wick 4 has some great stuff. Top-down scene, not just the fights, the casino scene before the fight. You're right. Especially that top-down shot scene. That's freaking memorable, man. Oh, my goodness.
Is it?
Say what?
Is it? Though
It's one of mine.
didn't-
It's one of my
I didn't-
favorite scenes. It's one of my favorite fight scenes because it's made to look like it was all done in one shot. I don't know. I wasn't there on set. I don't know if they did it all in one shot in one take. But it's a memorable scene to me. The steps was another good one.
Dude, I have the fucking steps. That is the part that I remember the most of the movie, and it's because of trauma.
Well,
No,
but
I didn't. It's no secret. I didn't like John Wick 4.
yes,
Not at
I-
all.
I find the steps to still be better than anything I saw in Shang-Chi.
Oh well, but
That's
dude.
my contention. I'm not trying to pass. Look, I agree with you. Okay. I'm not saying that John Wick 4 is the greatest movie ever made. I'm just saying it's still better than Shang-Chi. Read by Nature, old school GTA on film, essentially. Yes. Oh, yeah. Marvel's. Yeah, okay. Aquafina. I like Aquafina. I do.
Me too. Not as a singer.
And Wolverine 626 professes John Wick 4 is awesome. It's still a way better movie. And I will say this. If you're going to take all four John Wick films, they do match up favorably, if not slightly better than all of the Bourne movies to that point.
Oh. Mm, yeah, I'll have to get back to you later about that because okay, the Renner was good in it, but
Bourne Legacy, yeah.
yeah,
And that was the fourth
but
one. That was the fourth one.
yeah, but I don't know. It didn't click the movie as a whole for
Mhm.
me.
Yeah.
So I don't even count it in the franchise. And if in the very impossible chance that Jeremy Renner someday hears the season show, man, no,
Ooh.
I love your word, Mr. Renner. But
Oh, look! I've said it before,
but
and I'll say it
the
again.
movie the movie was meh.
Jeremy Renner, out of everybody that was originally in phase one, is the one performer who got screwed royally because of the way. Look, I think he got done dirty. Really, as far as the MCU is concerned, with his character of Hawkeye. Hawkeye really is the MCU's Jason Bourne. That's who he is. That's his training. He's meant to really, he's a secret agent, basically. He just likes to use a bow and arrow. And the fact that, in my opinion, a lot of stuff with his character is almost like an attempt to try to figure out what to do with the actor. You're dealing with people who should have had a better, well thought out plan when it came to the character of Hawkeye. And don't get me started on
Don't even get me started.
on Black Widow.
I'm
That's
sorry.
oh,
I'm sorry. What?
Black Widow.
There wasn't that movie that doesn't exist. That
I mean, there's just a whole lot of inconsistency there. And realistically, I mean, I'm sure Jeremy was just wanting to fulfill his contract and get out. But that entire Hawkeye Disney Plus show was a JOKE as far as its treatment of Jeremy Renner and his character. They just did it wrong. If they had decided to make Ironheart into a Disney Plus series and not kill off Robert Downey Jr.'s Tony Stark and had his character in the Ironheart miniseries, if they had done to Robert Downey Jr. what they did to Jeremy Renner, fans would have noped that entire thing. It just would have big old nope. You just gotta understand what you have. You've got this entire film universe, and all these guys seem to be doing is just screwing up left and right. And Captain Falcon America just, unless they pulled off one of the greatest miracles out there, that film is dead on arrival. I really cannot see how that film is going to be successful, given how much they've spent on it, given how much this film has to make just to break even. You know, when you are so bad at what you do that you're pushing upwards of about $900 million just to break even, you've done something wrong. And again, it's nothing against Anthony Mackie or Harrison Ford or Giancarlo Esposito or any of the other actors that are going to be in that film. This is solely directed right at Kevin Feige, all of his producers, and the writers who pretty much have been working with Kevin Feige after the events of definitely after Endgame, but skipping over anything having to do with Spider-Man No Way Home, because that was a fun movie. Kevin Feige and his people were really good at pulling a fast one and quickly taking the script, plot, and storyline for the Flash movie and improving upon it. So I gotta give them credit on that one. And as a side note, I had a chance to finally sit down and listen and watch the interview with James Gunn on Michael Rosenbaum's Inside of You podcast. And I got to say, I have to admit, up to this point, I started out kind of excited, but just a little leery of James Gunn's version of the DC film universe. Or the DCU, really. And after watching that, I find myself a little more excited than I was before, in a good way. I think I think that Wolverine 626. What's this? Breaking per deadline. Lucasfilm taps Simon Kinberg to write and produce a new Star Wars trilogy. Star Wars is saved, everyone. Tongue firmly in cheek right there. Thank you, Wolverine 66. Yeah. Simon, I'm gonna get the studio to pay me twice to remake the same story. Wow, Simon Kinberg. There's a reason why you haven't seen very much of him lately. Anyway, I just got to say though, I did like that interview. It was a very, very, very well done interview. I found myself really. There was a portion of their discussion which really caught my attention, and it was there is a portion of their discussion. There's at the 44-minute mark, 44:32 of the video, where Michael asks about comic book fatigue. And I remember seeing some people reposting James Gunn's response. The thing is, there's actually more to that. People are using what he initially said, but they didn't use the whole of what he said. I think it's very important that you go back and listen to everything James Gunn said in answering that question. Because I got to say, welcome to the party, James Gunn. I've been saying the same thing for years. Hollywood is just, it is not about superheroes and comic books. Contrary to what Tom Hanks said in an interview with Variety. Thank you, Rebecca. It's not superheroes and comic books. That is not the problem. Trying to remember how James Gunn put it. It's really the quality. Some people have gotten lazy with making films in general, but especially superhero films. They've gotten lazy. And you get to a point with some of these films where you don't even care by the third act who lives or who dies because they're not taking any care with the characters. Some of these studios are just releasing these movies just because. Nobody's stopping to ask, is there a reason why we should make this film? And again, for the longest time, I've argued, and now it seems like there are people online that are willing to get on, say something officially. I'm one of those people that never believed that when you are adapting comics, that you have to use the Marvel formula. The Marvel formula was helped by the fact that Ian, sorry. I apologize there, Ian. But again, thank you though for the birthday. Happy birthday message. I just think that there are just some people that just sort of adapt or take something and then they cruise on autopilot. And I believe that there are certain, again, I've talked about this in our first year of doing Pop Culture Minefield. Hell to you, Shinatsky. I believe that there are individuals within the industry that are they're just done with comic book movies. And they're letting their own personal bias pretty much lead them to want to talk about how done they are. Thing is, nobody's stopping you from making other things. You may not be able to get top money for some of the ideas that you have, but you can still go out and make other things. But Hollywood has been in a little bit of a rut for the last really almost 20-something years. And whether it's studios making, attaching themselves to the same project or the same idea for multiple studios, and then they have to have a race to see who's going to come out with a competing movie, to spending large amounts of money and just ungodly amounts of money to buy the rights to something, only to end up basically handing it off to a director and writer that seemingly never read the source material. Again, this is not a comic book thing. This is a Hollywood thing. Although, again, as I've been saying for years, anybody that's complaining about too many remakes and stuff, I officially say unto you, where the blank have you been? Reboots, sequels, all that stuff has been around pretty much as long as Hollywood has been. I often hear people try to get around it every time I say that, going, well, you know, we call it different thing. Shut up. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. We keep doing this. We just find different genres to do it every few years, you know? See, now Wolverine, that's where I was going. That's you jumped ahead. That's what I've been saying for a long time. You know, there are other stories within the realms of comics that are not superhero stories. And you can adapt those. And that seems to be what James Gunn is getting at. He seems to be wanting to go down that road with DC. DC has a long list of comics that they've done, characters they've had that are not superhero characters. I think they can cover pretty much every genre. And Marvel can for the most part too. But they seem to be solidly concentrating on just their superhero properties. Marvel has purchased a lot of companies that have gone out of business. A lot of rival comic book studios and publishers. So there are characters that Marvel owns that were never written or overseen by Stan Lee. Some of them are part of whole different universes. In fact, the biggest thing Marvel owns that is not a known comic property that Stan Lee worked on or any of the famous Marvel bullpen ever worked on, that's Men in Black. And it wasn't even a comic story or book that Marvel had originally published. It was published by a completely different company. But Marvel ended up buying the rights to that company. So they own Men in Black, which means Disney owns Men in Black. And, oh, wait a minute. Wolverine 626 says, like Bullet to the Head with Sylvester Stallone. That's a good one. Ian says, why don't they remake bad movies? That works. Look at The Thing from Another World, then The Thing. Look, that's also a thing I've subscribed to. Okay, that's also an idea out there that they could just remake.
Wait. The Thing from Another World is not a bad movie.
Uh-oh. Seem to be getting some pushback in.
Granted, The Thing is superior, but the original is not a bad movie.
Ian also says, or The Fly.
Oh, yeah. No argument there. Yes.
Read by Nature, A History of Violence was a comic book adaptation. Yes, it was. Road to Perdition. Oh, Wolverine got to it before I did. Bullet to the Head, Two Guns, Road to Perdition, A History of Violence, Surrogates, all based on comic books. You know, there's also Red and Red 2 and The Losers. All three of them comics. All three of them DC. and all were turned into movies by Warner Brothers. Let's see, Read by Nature asked, was it Malibu? They had Ultra Force too. It wasn't Malibu that created Men in Black. You'll have to go on Google Men in Black comic book. It'll tell you the whole history. But it was a small publisher. I look when they announced they were turning that into a movie. I actually came across one of the comics from that company, and I gotta say, the movies are great, but that comic was weird and unusual and fun to read. The movies are a very slick version of it, and the casting of Will Smith was really different, because in the original comic, it's really just an older man and a younger man. You know, it's X-Files with a darker, creepier component to it. I think originally for Men in Black, they were joking about George Clooney being attached to it. So, man, it's been a long time since I thought about all that. Oh, and don't forget the Walking Dead TV series, of course. Let's see. Shinatsky, The Thing from Another World was a case where they ignored the source material a lot, so the thing could be its own thing by following the Campbell story more. Yeah.
Okay, this one I don't quite get. You know, language barrier and all that stuff. I mean, it's not the same thing. X-Files Season 9, TV X-Files Season 9.
I think one's a comic and the other one is the actual, well, anyway.
Oh.
Yeah, one's the comic and one is what they ended up calling Season 9 when they brought it back. Read by Nature, the Mask comic is much darker too. Yep. Let's see. Ian says Disney is too busy transforming boys brands into girl brands. That doesn't work. Men and boys want to see Star Wars, and girls loved it too. You know what? There is no falsehood in that statement. There is absolutely no falsehood in that statement. My whole thing is, if you're going to adapt something, even if it's something successful, bring your best. Don't do a half-a job. And I'm looking right at the people who made their adaptation of Bewitched. You had a perfect cast with that Bewitched movie.
Yeah.
And that script was just, I wouldn't wipe my backside with that script.
Okay. Get ready, because this is going to happen a lot in the future. If you have to choose, you have to watch one movie. In the next 2 hours.
Okay.
There's no escape from it. You have to watch this one.
Okay.
So, what would you prefer? Bewitched or Dom 7?
Can I phone a friend?
No.
Oh man. Oh jeez. Mm. Mm. Oh.
Do I have to
Man,
be
both
here?
scripts suck so much.
Okay.
They-
So it's you're in something like this.
You never know when some lunatic will come along with a sadistic choice.
Correct, sir. Man. If we're going for like,
No, I don't know. I think Will Ferrell with a better script, he could have been a good Daryl.
yeah, I love that entire cast. I mean, I never in a million years would have thought of Shirley MacLaine being Endora. Yet she looks exactly like her. Oh my goodness.
Indeed.
She looks so much like Agnes Moorehead. Oh my goodness.
I don't know. I like the Fall Guy. However, I think that movie wasn't the Fall Guy. I think they had a that good solid movie, and then someone say we can paint it as the Fall Guy and cash in the nostalgia. However, I freaking love that movie. And Wolverine goes with Batman. Well, the Batman. This D7 is going to be called here.
Oh man, you know what? I'm happy for you, Wolverine. I am. To be so certain, to be able to look upon that and say, I will get some sort of enjoyment out of that. But
Wait. Is there a reboot for Manimal? Is that a thing?
okay. Officially, I have no idea.
I have to check that.
I would have loved to have seen Will. Okay, this is gonna sound bad. I would have loved to have seen Will Ferrell clown around with his version of the $6 Million Man.
Oh, Fandango says that Will Ferrell wants to reboot Manimal.
That'd be kind of fun.
Well, I saw Manimal in my day. Yeah, I know all the things. The worst transformation of all of them for me was the eagle, because how come his hands become the legs? But then on one episode, the eagle got stabbed in a wing, and when he returned to his human form, he had the stabbing on his arm, and I was, what the hell? Wasn't his arms the legs of the eagle? I don't know. I almost quit, but
Look, here's what I here's
was
what
a
I
fan of Simon McCorkindale.
yeah.
Oh man, it was horrible losing so young.
Yeah. I gotta say this. I don't mind doing that. Having having an adaptation of Manimal. Just make it better than Rob Schneider's The Animal. That's all I ask for. Aim a little higher.
No. Manimal and Rob Schneider Animal are different animals.
I know,
Ah.
I know, but I just please, if you're gonna do this, just aim a little higher there.
Animal is good for what it is. I mean, and you can say that of almost every movie Rob Schneider has done. Yeah, they are not gonna make you any brighter, but you're gonna laugh, and I think that is his point.
I like Rob Schneider. I've liked him since Saturday Night Live. It's just, you know, Rob Schneider's, you know. Oh man, really, Chinatsky? Really? Oh man. Okay, Ian, the Batman sucked. Don't even stop the Riddler. Yeah, I know, right? Right? I knew I liked you, Ian. Oh man. Hey, look. I'm not hating on the animal. I'm just saying.
Yes, you are.
No, I'm not. Rob Schneider's already done it. If you're gonna do Manimal, you got to aim a little higher. Okay, you can't do what Rob Schneider did. For one thing, there's only one Rob Schneider. So, I just think that if you're gonna do it, do it. You know.
Yeah, you can stop us.
I just, you know, there's stuff to do. There's a lot of material out there.
Ooh! You're touching my heart, Ian.
See, this is the reason why, Martin, you and I get along so well, because I'm a big Automan fan. Yeah.
Who should be Automan?
They could pick just about anybody to do it. I mean, just about anybody. I think that look, you make
Glenn?
you put together an Automan reboot movie. I think a lot of young actors in Hollywood would be willing to wear the leotard. So but you better find a vehicle as cool as Automan's car. That's all I got to say.
Oh.
I mean, again, it's for me.
No. This is, oh my goodness, I'm feeling young again. Look, they are talking about Street
Hawk. Yes. Oh, and there's already rumors about Airwolf and Blue Thunder. Look, let me say something.
Wait. We saw the poster on.
Yeah. Let me at least say this.
I think it's Blue Thunder because the it's the crew is they have a police uniform.
Yeah, I don't mind Blue Thunder, but if you're attempting to do Airwolf, I'm gonna have to lay down the law on that one. Okay.
You better know what you're doing.
Yes. Don't F up Airwolf. That's all I gotta say. It's a really great story that if you're gonna do this thing, if you're really gonna do Airwolf, do it. I mean, seriously, do Airwolf. But oh geez, yeah, I'm to a point where I'm scared if anybody decides to come out and say we're gonna remake or reboot Airwolf. It's like I just yeah. I mean, look, I don't see why anyone doesn't want to take another shot at the Avengers. You know, I think the Avengers could still work. I just think that if you're someone who knows the entire history of the Avengers, and I thought this about the movie. Why didn't you just have all of the Avengers in a movie? Why don't you just put them all in there? You've got enough characters. You could have come up with a really cool, very interesting story. And Ian, yes, we did talk about $6 Million Man. I think Will Ferrell would be very good in a $6 Million Man film.
Will Ferrell
Yeah.
as Steve Austin.
Yes.
What?
Look. Let's all just lay our cards out on the table.
You
okay?
have some explaining to do, Mister.
Yeah, I know. Let's just lay all our cards out on the table. Ready?
Wait. Before you continue.
Yes.
Imagine Shenotsky I imagine Shenotsky going with this. Will Ferrell is a $6 million man, and his
Steve
friend,
Austin. Yeah.
yes, and his friend is the bionic woman.
I can think of a few women that you could get to be the bionic.
No, it has to be his friend.
Oh. Well, now you know the storyline from the original series.
No.
Steve Austin wasn't the first person.
Oh, so that's why the Bionic Woman reboot did that.
Actually, the Bionic Woman, as far as humans that have successfully survived, was actually the third person. She was number 3. Steve Austin was number 2.
And who was number 1?
The late, great actor John Saxon, baby. I think he's been gone now about 5 years now. John Saxon was the original person who had the operation, and because they had a whole bionic fight. Yeah, Peter Venkman, back me up. Back me up. That's the way you're getting. That's the way you should do the movie, and it should be. I think if you're going to do it and have it be a comedy, you should have someone who could match up against Will Ferrell and would still do the comedy. You know, you need somebody who's funny, just like Will Ferrell, but who you could also buy being the original prototype and who is actually stronger.
And use Lee Majors as Oscar.
And who?
Oscar, the liaison for Steve Austin.
No, use who is?
Lee Majors.
He's a little too old. No.
He's not that old.
I love Lee Majors. Trust me. No, you don't want to use him as Oscar Goldman. No.
Agree to disagree.
You need someone to portray Major Frederick Sloan. That is the original $6 Million Man.
Yeah, there's a point. Wolverine, I get it. Shenotsky says, "Well, whoa, no, Shenotsky.
Oh gosh, Shenotsky.
Why?
Why, dude? Why? You're trying to trick me into laughing at something." Okay, the 60s UK TV show, The Avengers. They missed their window. They cast the wrong people in the movie version. It should have been Hugh Grant as Steed and Elizabeth Hurley as Emma Peel. You know what, though? Ian, have you ever watched the Avengers? I mean, the complete series? Because this was a case where a television show became popular, but we Americans didn't get it until after like the third season. So everything we know of the Avengers is based on the version with Steed and Peele here in America. But it turns out that there's actually two other people who were a part of the Avengers before Emmett Peele showed up. And my whole thing is, if you're going to do a movie or maybe even a streaming reboot, why not just put all the characters in one thing? Just put them all in there. Dr. David Keel would be fantastic. And put his story in there. You know, a doctor loses his fiance, wife. Government agent shows up at his door and wants to help him track down the people responsible for his wife's death. And that's the Avengers. And then after the first season, the doctor's role was reduced and they went with John Steed, the agent. And yeah. Well, again, prior to Emmett Peele, he had only been with two other people prior to that. And my whole thing is just make the entire film about all of the Avengers, all of Steed's partners. Now, if you go with the original Avengers, the Avengers television series, that means two people before Emmett Peele and one person after for the entire run of the series. So Steed had four partners during the course of the series and put them all in there because he had different relationships with everybody. Although I think it's kind of cool that it's all women. I mean, after the doctor, it's all nothing but women. Although, come to think of it, weren't the last two brunettes? The first one was blonde, and they lost her because she got lost to the James Bond producers who picked her up and put her in Goldfinger in a very substantial role. Yeah, Kathy Gale. Kathy Gale kicked ass. And she was actually the first one to ever wear the prototype catsuit, not Emmett Peele. Again, I'm just putting it out there. You know, if you're gonna do the Avengers, do all the Avengers. You know, it probably would have helped the previous big screen version a little bit. And I'm not saying you have to do the Honor Blackman. Honor Blackman was awesome. Just a gorgeous woman. And for her to get picked like that, to be the female lead in Goldfinger. So she goes from being on TV and doing it, quote unquote, for free to going to the big screen. So she goes from John Steed to James Bond and rolling in the hay with Sean Connery. Diana Rigg and Linda Thorson. Yeah, I know. Hey, Tom. And yeah, but I think they would get it if you wrote a really good story. You know, that's all I've said about it. Have all the characters together, but just write a really good story with all of them. Now,
Wait, wait, Tom. I wouldn't say that. I think Sapphire and Steel got a good audience, and that is weird.
okay, I have to admit, yes, you are right about that, Martin. Sapphire and Steel is weird, but Sapphire and Steel was also meant to be kind of like a sci-fi thing,
Yeah,
whereas the Avengers was meant to really just be spy stuff, that happened to run into various other areas. Here's my big thing, though, to in this part of the conversation. Those of us that are Avengers fans, would you go ahead and include Mike and Purdy? That's my big question. Would you go ahead and include the two characters from the sequel television series in the 1970s out of Canada? So for all of us that are Avengers fans, that's my question for you.
again,
Say
what's
what?
the question? What was the question?
My question is, for all of us that are Avengers fans, if they decide to do either a movie and or a streaming reboot limited series, would you go ahead and add Mike Gambit and Purdy to the cast of characters? Because they were also Avengers, but they were in the sequel TV series that they ended up making in Canada in the 70s. And along with John Steed. All told, John Steed had 6 people opposite him as the Avengers during the entire run of everything.
That's a tough one.
I know. That's the reason why I asked. Would you go ahead and put Mike and Purdy in it?
At the maybe in the last 2 seasons as trainees or new recruits.
New recruits. Okay.
Yeah, because I understand you're talking about taking the whole eras and fusing it together, but it may not sit well with fans of the first show. But if you don't use them, the fans of the second show are going to feel left out. So it's a delicate balance. Use it.
Okay, so Ian says no.
Right.
Ian's vote is no. Yes, that's exactly it. Patrick Beneath was an older gentleman. You needed somebody younger to do all of the fight. It's the same reason why originally they were going to add another character to the Star Trek Phase 2 television series. They decided that William Shatner was getting a little long in the tooth to be doing all the stunts. So they wanted to add a younger character that would be the one to go down to the planet, and they were going to allow Kirk to be more of a scholarly type on the ship.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Well, the idea did work. It worked. Because that's Star Trek The Next Generation.
Yeah. I'd work with that, with a guy that wasn't Shatner. Okay?
Yeah.
You don't want, because if they had done that with Shatner, it would be like being like having to see Captain Picard in his serious Picard, all frail and brittle. No, you don't want to see your hero like that. And I don't know why those.
If they were going to just complain about that means they would have at least gotten over the other big difference, because Spock wasn't going to be in the show.
I hope you're right, William.
Yeah, I hope you're right. I hope he does. Because a lot of the people who have been running Star Trek these last few years need to choke on that fact. William Shatner's the truth.
we have another pet project for Elon Musk. Shatner till he's 200.
Hey, if anybody can help William Shatner do it, I think Elon could. Let's see. Read by nature. I need to answer your question. Let's see. What are your thoughts on the Sean Connery direction? Okay. The script should have been better. They had a lot of what they needed, but the script was my problem with that film. That script was just, it needed another 2 passes. That's all. Just needed another 2 passes. That's it. Peter Venkman, so like Doctor Who. Let's see. Ian says the new Avengers was a flop. It only got a second season because Canada stepped in with more money. Season 1 did not get many viewers. Yeah, I remember. It was bad, wrong cast, bad script. I can't say anything, but I enjoyed it, but that's, again, I was a kid. I loved watching the original Avengers series. And so the new Avengers, at least here in the United States, it was part of CBS Late Night, Yeah, I mean. Oh, Tom, you're missing. Google the new Avengers.
Did he want to?
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with the new event. Look, it's not like we're talking, about Enos. The spin-off series from Dukes of Hazzard.
Oh my goodness.
It's not like we're talking about Aftermath either,
Wow.
Yeah, I know. But I think in adapting whatever, there should be some thought put into making sure that the script itself needs to look. A proper decision needs to be made as to how faithful you want to really be. Certain ideas, certain characters definitely need you to be a little more faithful to the original material. Let's see. Ian says the 60s Avengers was unique today and yesterday. There hasn't been a show like it ever. Yeah, you could actually make a show that kind of went over some of the same things, but you're right. Now, as far as people who believe modern stuff is always good, look.
Yeah,
I think Steve.
I have a Joker movie for people who think that modern is better.
I like Steven Spielberg. I like a lot of stuff he's produced, and I thought the world of Sequest, but I liked it better when it was known as Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea.
Ouch!
It's true though. There's a lot of similarities between. I mean, outside of the obvious similarity,
No. I don't see it. I don't see it. One being the copycat of the other. I see Sequest as a Star Trek underwater. To be honest.
It was an attempt to do Star Trek like, but it was closer to being Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea because Roy Scheider's character, you know, I mean, he had his own institute. He had his own institute. And it's like, wait a minute. I've heard that before. Where have I seen that before?
Yeah, but he had a talking dolphin.
That's it. That's the only difference. That is the only difference between both those shows is they had a talking dolphin. That's it. That's Spielberg's little contribution. Let's give him a talking dolphin and go. It's Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea, which you can now watch on YouTube. It is available on YouTube. A show that went so far, they saved a lot of money because it was originally a movie that I think won an Academy Award. But here's the thing. I think season 4, they did an episode that remade the movie. Same plot. The same plot as the original movie.
Well, I don't care. Okay? Because if we're going that route, we have Nomad and Viger, and that's all I'm going to say.
Yes, I get it. It's just as long as we're clear on things, I'm down. You know, yeah, I'm down. There's all kinds of shows, and there are some shows you just can't do that with. You know, but there are some shows you could. And then we have what they like to call the the white whale or the unicorn, you know. There is an actual full episode of a certain TV series based on a movie from 1973. Which includes none of the actors that were in the movie. But they actually made it. Blazing Saddles, the series.
What?
I'm not kidding.
About that? No.
This was done years ago, and if you were lucky enough to buy the complete Blazing Saddles, they had an anniversary edition that included that pilot episode. But they did. Then again, to be fair, they actually did have an Animal House television series also. So, Peter Venkman actually saw it. What'd you think, Peter? Come on. What'd you think?
Hey, James Caserta's in the house. Dude,
Yes,
where have you been?
Caserta.
Good to see you.
Wow. I'm also of the opinion that, you know, I've been watching a lot of Katie Sackhoff's show that she has. And I have a confession to make. You know, Columbo's good. Mysteries are hard. But I have a confession to make. When I heard about the rebooting of Battlestar Galactica, it's not that I hated it. I was hoping for more blood and action. You know, more explosions, more battles. I was real bloodthirsty when it came to that show. It's like, oh, I want to see more stuff blow up. Let's do it. You know. There's talk about taking a third bite of the apple.
I don't know, man. After the mess that was Caprica, I'm.
Oh, I'm not counting Caprica. I'm just counting, you know, the original series, then the reboot series. Now they're gonna there's talk of doing it again.
Yeah, I know, and I'm not sure I want it. Then again, I was so sure I didn't want the first reboot. So you never know. Oh yeah, dude, I waited like 10 years to watch it.
No way.
Yeah,
You
I
didn't even
was
watch the miniseries?
no when I saw the first pictures, the stills, and I saw Starbuck is a woman and this and that and I said no, I'm not watching this. I like the Viper though, but no, I'm not watching this. But finally, I caved in, and then, oh my god, uh, I am a convert.
Yeah, I know.
I freaking love it. It's only number two because number one is the three. No, number one forever will be Babylon 5. Number
Yeah.
two, the Galactica. Number three, the first three seasons of The Expanse. Those are my sci-fi shows forever.
And all good shows. For me, look, I loved the miniseries. I mean, I was in. It seemed to, at least at that time, seemed to be going down a road that I was really digging. You know, I like the entire series. I was only, I can't use the word disappointed. The final episode didn't exactly end in a way that I was completely satisfied with. But I still like the entire show. I think if you're going to do it again, I think a lot of thought should be put into trying to create something that is more of a hybrid of the original series and the reboot series. I think if you could find a way of creating a hybrid between those two, I think you might have something. You know, I just think that I like both shows. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, I was
And how about Galactica 80?
oh god. The only cool
Well,
thing about Galactic in 1980 was the flying bikes. Outside of that,
No,
there was nothing
God.
else that I really no.
I didn't like the flying bikes, but the show had three and only three good episodes. One of them being the last one, and the other two were a two-parter. So
Okay, yeah. I liked Battlestar Galactica. I liked the idea. I liked everything about it. And I thought that you know, I grew up watching Lauren Green. And not many people know that
wait, wait, give me a chance here to address this, dude.
Dirt. I met Dirt.
My
Dirt,
my daughter thinks exactly the same, and she refuses to see BSG because they swapped Starbuck. She had a
she
crush. Well, her you could say her sci-fi crushes are Starbuck, Trip, and Amos from The Expanse.
well, let your daughter know I actually got a chance to hang out with both actors, Apollo and Starbuck, and Boomer. I got a chance to hang out with all three of those guys.
Nice.
Dirk Benedict, in all my years of going to conventions, I want to say this about Dirk Benedict. He was the only person who ever did what I am doing right now in front of an audience and had a free for all. You could ask him anything. And when he said anything, he meant it. Anything. And he would answer you. That was so refreshing to be able to ask him. And serious. I thought I wasn't exactly the first person that stood up to ask a question, but some of those answers, even I was starting to get a little embarrassed, But the reason why he was so forthcoming was because his life at that time, he had battled cancer and survived. His whole thing is like, he hadn't done anything really to get too uptight about. And so he was just, ask him and he'll answer. And hanging out and just talking to the guy, he was just a lot of fun. I can see why a lot of actors really liked him and liked working with him. Personally, I wish that his scene in the movie for the A-Team movie, I wish his scene had been longer for his cameo. Because I think quite a few people miss him in that film.
Yeah, I'm one.
Yeah, he's in the A-Team movie. So if you've never seen the A-Team movie that came out a couple of years back, check it out. But two of the four original actors make cameo appearances in the film. And the irony is they got a chance to act opposite the new actors playing their parts. Yeah, don't get me started on Kung Fu. Do not get me started on Kung Fu. I'm sorry. From here on out, it's Warrior. I love that show, Warrior. God, I love that show. Anybody that's still stuck on Kung Fu, I will tell them, go to Netflix, watch Warrior, and yeah. Yeah, and that's the other thing. I enjoyed everybody in that film. I enjoyed the movie. I know there are some people that didn't like it. I enjoyed the movie.
It.
I enjoyed the movie so much.
They flew a tank.
I know. I know. It's like, oh, I'm down. And Liam Neeson as oh, geez, yes.
Yeah, Liam Neeson was such a good Hannibal.
Oh, God, I love that film. And our good buddy, Gary Cassell, actually did the promo comic for that version of the movie. So for those of you who are interested, contact Pop Culture Minefield. Contact Gary, ask him about it. I'm telling you, being a part of this with Gary is one of the coolest things ever because of all of the really cool stuff that he's done. So apparently George Papard was a very difficult man. Yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah, look. It goes almost without saying that the only reason why the A-Team television series was around was because NBC, or at least the production company, I should say, that made it, had a deal with Mr. T, and Mr. T was hot coming out of Rocky III. And they felt they better strike while the iron's hot and attach him to something that they had. And that was it. They found a TV series for him. George Papard, great actor. To this day, I'm still surprised he was a part of it. And I grew up with watching him in Banachek. I thought he was really good in Banachek. So being a kid, I had no interest in watching Breakfast at Tiffany's until I was able to, I was older when I saw it, fell in love with that movie. It's a great film. It's a classic film. It's really, that movie is one of my daughter's all-time favorite films, Breakfast at Tiffany's. Yeah. Audrey Hepburn is one of my daughter's all-time favorite actresses. She used to have a poster of that film on her wall. So, hadn't thought about that in a long time. Let's see. The 18 movie is the only faithful adaptation of a Stephen J. Cannell property to date. Compared to a lot of the other stuff, that is true. In fact, Stephen J. Cannell worked on all of the previous screenplays prior to finding the one that they ended up using for the movie. So he was intimately involved with that production. I just like the fact that Ridley Scott and his brother were both producers on the film, executive producers. Parts of this movie seem like something that Ridley Scott would really, Ridley and Tony both would really get into. In fact, personally, if they had done a sequel, I still think Tony Scott should have directed it. Yeah, that movie just rocked. The Incredible Hulk 1978 TV series. I loved it when I was a kid. Yeah, well, look. Let me tell you something about the Incredible Hulk television series. I have a love-hate relationship with that show.
Okay.
When I was a kid,
why? That show was almost perfect.
Well, I was one of those kids who loved comics, and the Hulk was one of my faves. But I also grew up with Bill Bixby. He was Mr. TV to me. And Kenneth Johnson. Let me tell you something. The Incredible Hulk television series was proof that Hollywood really didn't care about comics. Because I was hoping when it was announced there was going to be an Incredible Hulk television series, I was thinking, wow, this is going to be great, because we're gonna get Banner, Dr. Banner. We're gonna get Betty. We're gonna get General Ross. We're gonna get Rick Jones. If you are a fan of that show, and outside of the first two names I mentioned, the other names mean nothing to you, we got a problem. In my opinion, and I know some people have disputed it, but in my opinion, the Incredible Hulk television series had way too many coincidences with another hit TV show. And it looked like somebody got a little lazy and just decided to create a TV series that used the premise of another television show and then just called it The Incredible Hulk. They just added in the added thing where your lead character can just change into a beast. But that they use this other TV series really as the basis for what they were doing. Because seriously, there's nothing in that show that's even remotely like the comic. Yeah, it was all part of the whole negotiating thing with Stan Lee. Stan Lee was not good at negotiating stuff. And that and the fact that the head of CBS was the who messed with his name. As a comic book fan, that killed me when they did that, when they changed his name. CBS head of programming go, well, that's just not a very strong name, Bruce. And I was like, Bruce, wait a minute. Didn't we go through a time where the biggest comic book TV show on TV was Batman? And who was Batman again? Oh, yeah, Bruce Wayne. F you, dude. It's like that's the reason why his name was different. It wasn't like they artistically were going, oh, or they created something or they figured out something from the comics that none of us ever do. No, that was all bull stuff. The head of programming for CBS didn't like the character's name, so they changed it to David. Just like the original idiots, the original people who were running the X-Men movie had changed Magneto's name because they didn't like it. And if it wasn't for the fact that Bryan Singer had someone who was looking out for him and said, hey, man, you better change Magneto's name back. Because you try to make this movie with that name, X-Men fans are going to string you up. They wanted to call him Jonathan or some dumb stuff like that.
The fuck?
Yes, I keep telling everybody the same story. If you own X-Men on DVD, check out the special features. There is a documentary on it. And it's at the very, very, very beginning. Very beginning. It's at the very, very beginning. They take you behind the scenes. It's Bryan Singer meeting with the heads of all of the different departments as they're getting ready to officially start production. And he makes sure to use that as an opportunity to inform everybody that they are changing Magneto's name to Eric Lyncher.
Wow.
I'm telling you, people keep asking, well, why are you always talking about why are you always talking about the producers for the X-Men film? Why are you always talking about what Fox is doing and it's like Laura Sheila Donner and stuff. It's like, okay, she ran that. This is what's wrong with everything that has gone sideways, even over these last 20 years in both Marvel films and DC films, both. It's the same problem. You get these executives, you get these producers. Nowadays, it's marketing people who think that they're smarter than the original material. They just think they're smarter than the original material, and they just willy-nilly will just change things. There's no rhyme or reason to it. I used to think, well, maybe, no, there's no rhyme or reason to it. There isn't. And that's it, Shinatsky. That's it right there. Everybody, even the best people in comics, they actually believe that all of these people are beneath them.
Whoa, Ian. What do you mean, was? Have you seen that woman lately? It's incredible.
I think he's talking about a video that got posted where she sounds like a woman way older than she is. You know, I've seen that video. It's like, wow. You know, I think she might have had some health problems recently that have affected her speech. So, but I think she's basically the same age as Helen Mirren. And Helen Mirren's hot.
Oh, yes, she is.
God, she's hot. I know a lot of guys that would, yeah, they would.
Anyway,
I think we could look. I'll let you know. I knew quite a few ladies who, even after the Untouchables movie came out, still thought that Sean Connery was hot. You know, so I mean, Sean Connery was smooth. The dude was smooth. You know, I mean, you couldn't help but be a fan of Sean Connery. To the point where if he walked up to your house and said, "Look, I'd like your woman for the evening," most guys would like, well, here's a beer, here's the keys to my truck. Could you at least have her back here, say about 8, 9 in the morning, at least, you know? But I've spent a weekend with Erin Gray too. She's a nice lady. Really nice lady.
Jesus, man.
What?
Between those stories and you meeting Sandalberg and Chase Masters.
Chase Masters. Okay, I don't talk about that story on the air, but yeah, she's a nice lady.
I'm sure.
Yeah, she's a nice lady. That's all I'm going to say. Nothing to happen, but she is a nice lady. She is a really nice lady. I think the world of her. So.
Yeah, me too. Even if you don't like the writing, you must watch Deep Space Nine just for her.
True. KRS Corporation, DC needs to get out of the movie business. People were screaming for a Superman movie and they reboot. Okay, I can help with that. Two things. Because I dealt with this with the whole Idris Elba James Bond thing. So let me help out a little bit. If you're going to take a character like Superman and you're going to bring in a whole new group of people that want to start all over again and start making movies for the next 10 years, fantastic. They probably would have kept Henry Cavill if Henry Cavill were 10 years younger than he actually is now. The big reason, outside of the people who were running Warner Brothers before David Zaslav got there, and all of the tomfoolery that they did, and all the stuff they did to Henry Cavill, and to Ben Affleck, and to David Ayer, 45 minutes, really, guys? 45 minutes? 45 minutes of footage cut out of and or altered from Suicide Squad. Give me a break. Yeah, a lot of those people had to lose their jobs. But the other thing is that Henry Cavill is in his 40s now. Okay? He had been approached about a lot of projects, and while he loves the character of Superman, and I don't blame him, because as far as I'm concerned, he is Superman. The thing is that time does not stop. You know, opportunities kept coming, and there was also the possibility of him, at that time becoming James Bond. I think the former executives at Warner Brothers, wasted just enough time for Henry Cavill to basically just age out of the part. Physically, I think he could still do it, but it wouldn't be fair to him, especially with all the other projects that he has. And just like with Idris Elba and the whole James Bond thing, actors only have so long to do whatever they want to do, especially when you are an actor who is able to bulk up, sculpt your body, do whatever. You only have so long to be able to do that.
Yet again, Wolverine is right.
But the other thing is that as an actor, you also have to look out for your financial future. No matter what Henry Cavill did, he was never going to really make a lot of money from doing Superman as he got older. He could actually make more money starting his own production company and trying to bring projects in that he could actually make more money off of. Thus, Keanu Reeves with John Wick and so on and so forth. I mean, think about all these actors that have gone out and formed their own production companies, and they are bringing projects to the studios. That's a way of making more money. Henry Cavill's deal with Warner Brothers under that old system that they had, he was getting screwed left, right, and center. They did not want to renegotiate with him. And so what they did is they ran out the clock and screwed Henry Cavill over because he just aged out. Let's see. I see what you're saying. An older Superman movie would be interesting, but you're also trying to get audiences involved worldwide. You had a brand new owner of Warner Brothers who you have to convince, and you needed somebody to actually do something that Warner Brothers had never done before. DC Comics has been owned by Warner Brothers since 1975. Since buying DC Comics back then, Warner Brothers never treated DC as anything other than this thing that they could just get free ideas from, basically. Warner Brothers and the people that ran Warner Brothers had no say in nothing. Let me repeat this. In trying to compare Warner Brothers, really DC Comics, to what Marvel is doing now, that's apples to dragon fruit. It's two completely different things. Marvel Studios was started because Marvel Entertainment and Marvel Publications were fed up with dealing with Fox and Sony. They wanted to make their own movies because that way they could guarantee that they would get made the right way. And basically it just worked out for them that Disney came along and wanted to buy the whole thing. But they were their own film studio on their own for, at least a tiny little bit. And they made a few good moves. But all of the stuff that Marvel Studios did with Kevin Feige could never have been done with Warner Brothers because Warner Brothers was not interested in allowing any one person to have full control over all that stuff. That's it. And every attempt that they had in trying to put anything like that together, none of the executives were going to give up power. Whoever they had, look, Kevin Feige's big thing is that he lucked out in having Bob Iger run Disney and be of the opinion that the creatives should be allowed to have as much money as they want and run it the way they see fit. No other studio in Hollywood would let anybody else get away with that under those circumstances. That's it. Love your show. Great job, guys. Heading back to work. Kevin. Hey, it's nice talking to you, Kevin. Look, first of all, thank you for showing up. Really appreciate that. Let me at least conclude this part of what I'm saying to say this. Warner Brothers at that time, it was not going to be possible to have anything that DC was doing ran exactly the way that Marvel Studios was doing it. I don't care how they would have made movies. Warner Brothers was never going to allow that to happen. The executives in charge of the studio would run everything, meaning that whoever you, quote unquote, had in charge of the DC films wasn't really going to be running it. That's it. That's as simple as that. And I know some of you out there don't like that answer, but that's what happened. Oh, it's going to be a while before I'm back up in KC, though. Let's see. Yeah, I know. Keith's coffee never ends. So it's a big cup. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, Skydance Paramount. Don't you have anything to say about that?
Yes. Hold on. I do have something about Skydance and Paramount. Thank you for reminding me. It's looking like
Dude, I don't know what to think about that. I'm in like
I know
well,
exactly what to
shit.
think about it. I know exactly what I think about it. I know Gary kind of feels the same way you do, but I feel a little differently about the whole thing. I feel bad for Sherry Redstone and her family because the story to me is that the moment you had a woman who had faced a lot of adversity to be able to run her family's company, and all these people stand up and basically give her a lot of stuff, a lot of guff, and just basically make it next to impossible to get anything done. And here's the other thing. It wasn't that they were just aiming it at her. Look at everything that they did. It affected how this company made money. That's the reason why Hollywood is so screwed up right now, because there is way too many people who weren't thinking about a job or being loyal to the company that they were working for. The first thing you should think about really is just not costing your company money. And some of these people cost their company millions with their stupidity. And you had someone like Les Moonves who potentially could have cost CBS and really all of Paramount hundreds of millions of dollars. if he had stayed working and not smartly decided to retire. Now that it's pretty much been all but confirmed that he was the one that initiated the contract for Alex Kurtzman. That is a poison pill contract. He did it to be an ASS. And he decided to F over CBS and Paramount by making sure that Alex Kurtzman got this golden ticket contract that has all of these clauses in it to make it nearly impossible to fire the guy. In fact, it's got all these clauses to where CBS is obligated to do certain things by a certain period of time, or else they're going to owe him money. And they've been trying real hard to find a way to get out of that contract and let this guy go, because he's currently costing them money. So I feel bad for David Ellison, who's taking over, because he and his people and his dad, Larry, are going to have to figure out a way to get past all of that. Now, personally, I think they figured it out. I think they have found a legal way to get around that contract and basically get Alex Kurtzman out of there. But I'm telling you right now, all of you people who are fans of the current version of Star Trek, you're going to have to face this fact. Alex Kurtzman pissed off Larry Ellison. Said it before and I'll say it again. Say goodbye to this current version of Star Trek. David is going to make it his own personal mission to wipe all of this stuff out. Star Trek can be a real cash cow if you got it in the hands of people who, first and foremost, were actually fans. Read by nature. Hey. Look, from what I'm hearing, Sherry Redstone and her lawyers already thought of, considered that. They went through everything they could think of to get around this contract. But it's looking more and more like David Ellison and his people may have found a loophole. That's the reason why a lot of these shows and stuff are ending. Which is good. I know that there are a lot of you out there that are fans of this. There's people out there that thought that STD was something. And, you know, there's people out there that think that their animated show is something. Okay. There's people out there that actually think Strange New Worlds, which, you know, is the closest thing to but we all know what the big thing is. It's Picard season 3. It's the only thing worth anything. It's the only thing worth anything. And if you want to know what you're dealing with Alex Kurtzman, allegedly, the guy has issues. You know, his ego is freaking out of control. So much so. Season 1 of Picard is available on Blu-ray and DVD. You can go buy it. Have fun with it. Season 2 of Picard.
And there is no risk of outage.
Season 2 of Picard. You can actually get that season all wrapped on its own. Blu-ray, DVD. Have fun with it. Love it. Do whatever you want. Season 3 of Picard is only available in a special package which includes the first 2 seasons.
Wonder why.
Wonder why that is. Well, even the people that work at CBS would even have to look at that and go, what's this? So there you go. This is who you're dealing with. And look, you know all those interviews after season 3 of Picard where you had Alex Kurtzman talking about it's above his pay grade to know whether or not there'd be a spinoff series called Star Trek Legacy? Yeah, that was not exactly on the up and up. You know, that whole buck stops here thing? He was it. His ego will not allow him to allow that project to move forward. So the one Star Trek show connected to all of the rest of this mess that anybody'd be interested in, and we're not getting it because somebody's fifis were hurt because of the success of that particular season of the show. Not the first time I heard about somebody's ego being a little out there. But that's the way it rolls. And again, I don't think David Ellison would be that. Well, no, you know what? I'm going to back up off that. I can't say that because, you know, when you make a billionaire mad, you know.
Yeah. So, you don't want, let's say you don't want to be in the Kurtzman's club.
Again, it's you know, okay, that's a good question. Wolverine 66. There are those who say that Skydance likes Kurtzman Trek. If that was the case, then why haven't they been involved with Kurtzman Trek when they co-produce so many Paramount projects? Okay, here's the thing on that one. Skydance was actually involved with J.J. Abrams's Star Trek films. What I heard was that Kurtzman lured away one of Ellison's high-ranking people that he had as part of his company. And so he never forgave Kurtzman for that. Kurtzman's also known to have, a bit of a personality conflict clash type thing. When pressed, he reacts in a way that you could tell he didn't think things through, i.e., his need to blame Tom Cruise for the failure of the Mummy movie.
Yeah, that's not gonna fly.
He's the only one that believes, you know. Read by nature. Here's the thing: the guy, Terry Matalas, who is responsible for season 3 of Picard. Yeah, he also. Here's the other thing about Alex Kurtzman. You know, supposedly Alex Kurtzman was kind of, while he was off doing something else, he was kind of sort of overseeing season 3 of Picard. What he didn't notice is that Matalas made season 3 of Picard so you didn't have to watch the first 2 seasons of Picard.
That's right. It is completely independent.
Completely independent. If you have no idea what the first 2 seasons were like, it does not mess up the story at all. At all. Paramount's not your problem, Shinosky. CBS is your problem. You know, but now that Paramount is the company that actually has been in control of Star Trek since 1967. Okay? They know Star Trek. But Sherry Redstone's father gave Star Trek to CBS. That's the problem. CBS had no idea what they were doing. They knew that they wanted Star Trek, but they didn't know what they were doing, which is the reason why they stupidly got rid of Brian Fuller, who was the actual creator of Star Trek Discovery. Yeah, look, if Kurtzman's actually going to get, oh yeah, R.I.P. Jerry Taylor, of course, rest in peace. If Kurtzman's going to get thrown out, it's going to be like what Steve said in The Winter Soldier, to Nick Fury. It's all got to go. It's all connected. All of it's going. All of it. Because Ellison doesn't want to pay Kurtzman anything. He does not want Kurtzman to have any ties to anything related to Star Trek when he and his attitude and his entire company and everything gets kicked out the door. When he's gone, he's gone. That's the reason why I keep telling people. I know some of you out there are really big fans of Strange New Worlds, but Strange New Worlds has to look. You got two choices. We can keep everything going the way that it is right now, or we can bring in people who are actually fans of Star Trek and have somebody who's ready to finance this and make it the right way and do it in a way that everybody can enjoy Star Trek and not just some dude who can't face reality or wants to blame everybody else but themselves for whatever mistakes. Read by Nature says, I heard Abrams actually took the fan backlash to heart, and that in part why he hasn't been too active. Does anyone think a redemption arc for him is possible? Yeah, well, he's a highly connected person. But here's the other thing. Fan backlash, it isn't just about Star Trek. It's everything. There's a reason why everything he's touched has not gone to plan. That's because, and again, it took me, some of it was just me being stubborn. Some of it was just, not wanting to face it. But I did like J.J. Abrams. But when it was pointed out that his entire career is nothing but taking other people's ideas and just regurgitating them, yeah, and a lot of people have figured it out. They figured out what the trick was. Alex Kurtzman owes J.J. Abrams big time, because without J.J. Abrams, Alex Kurtzman probably would be asking people if they want fries with that after his big mistake with a particular movie. His career should have ended a few years back because of something that happened. And JJ gave him a second chance. So let's just say Ewan McGregor and Scarlett Johansson. That's all I got to say. For a writer, there is one major no-no that you could pull. And Kurtzman pulled it.
And what is that no-no?
I'm not going to say. Let's just say it's like it's like going to open mic night, and I step out on stage to tell some jokes, And I start out with a routine. Why is there air? Or Bebe's kids. Or, in any number of things I could say. And just Google Alex Kurtzman cross-referenced with Scarlett Johansson and Ewan McGregor. Something about a certain type of suit that you don't have to wear, but it's still very important. And that's the other reason why Alex Kurtzman accusing Tom Cruise of ruining the Mummy film is so ridiculous. Oh, we're going to get a Mass Effect series. Yay.
Oh, please.
Yay.
No, they're going to ruin it. Mass Effect is too complicated of a... Oh, no. I mean, everybody that has played the game has played it its own way. Their character is unique to each one of them. So if you make a Commander Shepard in a show, you will get like 10% of the people happy, and the 90% of the rest are going to say, I don't like this Shepard.
Yeah.
That's a recipe for a disaster.
I am a big believer that if you're going to try to adapt a video game, you better have the creator and some of the original developers working on it with you, or else it's going to fail. I mean, it took Netflix to understand that more often than not, when you have the creator on board with you, good things happen. Thus, One Piece. I think we got another 2 weeks, and then new season really of Arcane will begin. The animated series so good that Leslie Headland decided that'd make a good Star Wars show. And she still found a way of messing that up. I mean, it's the same idea, basically. Same idea. And she still got outdone by an animated series. Yeah, Arcane Season 2. Yeah, I think a lot of people are looking forward to Arcane Season 2. I'm looking forward to that one, and Blue Eye Samurai Season 2 also. And The Gentleman Season 2.
Well, only 2 more days to Arcane. So
2 more days. I thought it was 2 more weeks.
Yes.
2 more days. I'm down.
November the 9th.
Yes, Saturday, baby. Look, for those of you out there who have never seen Arcane, you've been slow walking it, you haven't seen it, I think Martin and I will tell you, just watch the first episode. Just watch the first episode and trust us. Trust us. You will want to finish the rest of the season. And then when you're done with that, watch Blue Eye Samurai. Let's see. Wolverine 66 says, let's see. Oh,
dude, have you
Cameron
seen the poster for season 2 of Arcane?
No. Okay, you brought it up. Now you're going to have to show it. You have to show it. Show it to the audience.
All right.
You got to share.
It's intriguing. I'm gonna say that.
Well, it's taken them 2 years to get this going. So yeah. I am so ready. They've been making me wait. I'm not normally this patient.
Look at that.
Wow.
So Vice broken and
Yeah.
oh
Just in this one picture.
no, this is intriguing.
There's more character development in this one picture than Leslie Headland got in an entire episode of her Star Wars series. And she still spent all that money she spent on that one show. Look, to add insult to injury again, for the amount of money Leslie Headland was allowed to spend on making her Star Wars series, they made 4 John Wick movies. And had money left over. You know. Whew. There are just some people in Hollywood that are proving every single day that they should not be allowed to have any money at all. Personally, I think they should bring back the $5 to $20 million films. You know, you should be able to make films for either $5 million, $10 million, or 20. No more than that. There's a lot of films that just, you know, it's just a waste to be spending hundreds of millions of dollars and then you get really nothing out of it. So I think eventually somebody's going to release all of the numbers, having calculated how much money Disney wasted.
Wait, Wolverine? What do you mean cancel?
In other words, no seasons after this upcoming season. That's too bad. If Netflix has decided to do that, that's too bad.
Well, they better give a good ending to it.
Yeah, especially after making people wait 2 years, yes. That's okay. I'll still have Blue Eye Samurai.
Yeah. For now.
And Hit Monkey. Which was not. Yeah, Hit Monkey. Which is also something that I learned from the Inside of You podcast with James Gunn interview. That James Gunn was originally attached to a version of that he tried to get made. Speaking of season 2, He-Man season was actually good. I think we're still due the second half. It's good that you like that show. Enjoy it. Revel in it.
Well, let's see. Yeah, I have heard that how is the name? Revolution is what Revelation should have been. People that loathe Revelation has talked very high of Revolution. So I'm still trying to navigate my backlog, man.
Yeah. I've said a lot about that. I've let my feelings be known. Oh, Shinovsky says he and Tom Conkle could have given everyone a film series for the Acolytes, but you know what? I could have given everybody a film series for the Acolytes budget. I mean, that is a lot of money wasted, completely wasted for nothing. Wow.
Oh my.
Wow.
Yes, it was. It was. Oh my goodness. Ooh.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the new movie doesn't promise much, to be honest. Again, bad casting, and let's do it on Earth instead of Eternia. Yeah, didn't we learn anything from the first attempt?
Uh, what, just, yeah, no words. Arcane apparently cost over 200 million to produce. You know what? That's fine. The ratings, I think, were good, but not enough to save it. And that's fine. You know, with Arcane, you can actually see it in that show where all that money's going. With the Acolyte, even knowing how much money was spent, I'm looking at this show going, where did all that money go?
To someone's pocket.
At least. Allegedly. I'm just, yeah. If Leslie Headland can be given that kind of money and produce that, I will take a budget half that and give something better. If Lucasfilm and Aunt Kathy want to be helpful. So anyway.
Wow.
Oh, let's see. Read by Nature. It's a shame that fan film never reached its Kickstarter goal, but the budget was too much for fans to cover.
Fan film of what?
That's a good question. Reed, what are you talking about, big man?
Oh. Yeah. Could have been nice. Then again, I'll keep telling this. He-Man, not Adam. He-Man should be Alan Richardson. I have problems with that.
Yeah.
Pronouncing his name. I'm sorry.
Oh, wow. Well, I will say this. First of all, are there any more questions? Anybody have anything that they want to put out there? Because it's looking like
leaving time?
Yeah, it looks like it's time to roll ourselves out. So I want to
like an Autobot.
roll out. Look, I just want to I like that guy. I do.
Me too. He has had his hood on in his mouth now and then, but nobody's perfect, man.
Yeah, nobody's perfect. Look, I could still see him as Doc Savage. He would make a very good Doc Savage. Would he be perfect? No. But he'd be good.
Better than Tom Holland. Can assure you that.
Yeah. Anyway.
Or Robert Pattinson. Imagine.
Oh, jeez.
Sulking Doc Savage.
He's a little too thin. He doesn't like to work out. He doesn't like to do the weights. You need to be big to be Doc Savage. He would never bulk up that much. So
that's because you're toxic.
Oh, jeez. Not you too, man. Not you too. Damn it, man. Well, listen, I want to thank everybody for being here on this show. That's a good one. Oh, wow. Thank you. I want to thank Andy Morrow, Lord Toth, KRS Corporation, James Caserta, Shanadsky, Rebecca Gold, a.k.a. Ian, the Peter Venkman fan site, Penny, Kylock, Mrs. A, Reed, by nature, Wolverine 626, and our good buddy, D. Bud Martin. So, for Martin and myself, this has been Morning Coffee with Keith. Have a better day, as my other twin brother, Robert Brian Burnett, likes to say every so often.
See you guys.
Y'all come back now, you hear?
Thank you.